welcome, guys. You're welcome to tonight's Vid Career Series session. My name is Precious, and you can call me Cindy. I am the community manager for Vid, and I will be hosting tonight's session with Lanre being the speaker. So Lanre is a mentor in the Vid community, and tonight is going to be taking us on a topic that says the true impact of your role. So of course, a lot of people struggle with actually knowing what their impact is, either in their company, with their team members. A lot of people struggle to know that. So tonight we are going to be covering that topic, which says the true impact of your role. So the key takeaways for this session, we should be expecting to get clarity of personal role expectations, how personal and company growth align, the importance of every role, and understanding the required mindset for each stage. So Lanre Okedele is a multidisciplinary designer creating digital experiences that solve real problems and drive business growth. So with over half a decade of experience building SaaS platforms, fintech products, healthcare systems, lending solutions, and digital learning tools, it designed not just for usability, but for impact, helping people and businesses grow through thoughtful, data-informed, and emotionally resonant design. So without wasting time, I'm just going to be inviting Lanre to give us what he has for us this evening, and I would really implore us to listen and pay attention. At the end of the session, at the end of his presentation, we are going to have the floor to be able to ask questions, make contributions, and yes, we are going to have a good session tonight. So you guys should stay tuned, and also please share with other people so they can join before we end the session. So Lanre, please go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Once again, it's nice to be here, and I want to thank you for joining this session. So without wasting much of our time, I'm just going to proceed to share my screen right now. So let me just start with this. The true impact of your role. I want to believe that I am not the only. Let me say, my role is not the only the role that's actually present here tonight. We have product designers, we have software engineer, we have a software engineer here, we have a procurement officer right here, we have a product manager here, and it's not just about what we do, it's also about how we actually do the things that we do at our various companies. And before I move into the major things that I want to discuss tonight, I just want to talk a little bit about myself. Not to, dwell much on it, but I wear many hats across design, business, and product growth, from branding to product design, marketing, campaigns, anything at all that design can actually solve the problem. Just involve me in that. And these are, a couple of the companies that I've been able to work with over time. I'm not just going to dwell much on this. But like I was saying earlier, for every successful product that you can see or that we have right now, these are the heroes behind it. We have product managers, we have software engineers, content designers. Permit me if I am a bit biased towards the design part where I have more roles, right? But there are so many roles that actually come together to build every successful product that we can see today. Front-end engineers and designers, they're like best of friends. Permit me to say that. I know, we have our back and forth at all times, but everything is actually for the growth of that, for the growth of that product, for the success of that product. Once we are done with, design and building things, we pass it on to the back-end engineers. They do their thing, try to make everything that's, every button click. They try to make we should just appreciate them for the many APIs, the many things that they build, right? We should appreciate the pen testers, the QA engineers. These are the guys that actually make things work. They help us in such a way that they try to check if this if the product, if there is a bug in the product, before we actually ship it to the end consumer, right? I cannot continue to like talk about the many good things that everybody in on this slide actually, the things that they do, but we all know that these are the major errors when it comes to having a successful product. But it is not just about what we do. Like I said, either you are a software engineer, either you're a product designer, either you are a product manager, we know that there are actually different categories. You either start from an internship role before you grow to attain the senior role and even become like an executive or a manager in that firm, right? But there is a journey involved, and you don't just climb the titles, you evolve as a person. Now, this is what is going to bring me to this first role, the intern, right? I call these people learners, right? They are new, they are fresh, they are curious about how things work. They don't know, they don't have the answers yet. They don't even, sometimes they even feel invisible. Like, am I really important in this company? I'm just here to learn. And we can't really blame them for thinking they are not really important, because sometimes they think they are just here to learn. They are here to, they are green. They don't have an idea of how things work. Either, it's a design position, or it's a product manager position, even software engineering, whatever the role may be, right? They don't really understand how things work. They are new. Some of them are actually just coming from maybe one course, right? Or they're coming from one online course, and they just want to put the things that they have learned into practice. But when they get into the system, that is when they will understand that, okay, it seems this is real life, and this is not just some course we like took on Coursera, right? So, but one thing these people do not understand is that they are really important to even those in the senior roles. Either you're the head of your department, or anyone at all who is like in charge of taking these people, of teaching them. The way the way I learned design years back is not the same way these new interns are actually learning design. Now there are many other things that have been added to it, right? So when I ask a design an intern, when I tell them, okay, go and read this article, go and work on this, and then the article I'm sharing with them, because I am actually not giving them the same things like that I actually studied way back then. I will also make research, and I will share it with the intern. Okay, go and read this. I want you to learn about this. The more they learn about it, the more we talk about it, the better I also become as the lead, or the person giving them the task, or giving them this task to do, right? So these interns, they are very important to the growth of even the senior designer, right? You may not have the time to learn those things on the job, because you've been assigned high priority tasks, and that is what you would focus on. But the basics, right, which sometimes if you don't take note of, you tend to forget. You get to you get to be reminded through taking this intent, right? So basically, what I want us to understand is this: for the interns, right? This is the stage where you absorb processes and culture. You learn to understand the culture of that company that you are. If you're lucky, you may get retained, right? Or let's assume that the company wants to actually, they want to move their interns. They want to pick the best out of their interns. They want to bring them into the junior role, right? So for anyone who excel in that aspect, that is the person they will bring on board. Let's use Arsenal Football Club as an example. Apologies to those that don't watch football, but I think it's something that we all can actually relate with. And the reason I'm saying that is, Arsenal, way back, there is this saying that, oh, Arsenal is investing in kids, right? But the same thing Arsenal was doing then is what almost everybody is doing right now, right? Trying to invest in kids. And then I remember then they'll call the manager of the football team coach of super kids, right? But the same thing he was doing then, which is beginning to pay off, right? And is what most clubs are doing right now, right? They invested in their younger team, and then anyone who is outstanding among them, they bring them on board. Now, this person already understands their culture, right? This person, so they don't really need to do much, right? This person understands their patterns to a great extent, right? So when this person is coming on board, they are not starting from the very beginning. So as an intern, what you need to do in this role, you need to observe our workflows. You need to seek feedback actively. You need to be humble and curious about things. You really don't know how things work. Don't just sit and be idle and say, okay, whatever they assign to me is what I want. No, you want to think outside the box, right? You want to ask questions. You want to seek feedback. You want to get it fast. You need to ask thoughtful questions, right? And when you do this, you develop your own what's it called? You develop your own strength also, right? You develop resilience, right? It makes you learn how to adapt, right? So in any situation that you understand the way, and it also builds your confidence, right? Curiosity builds your confidence, right? So this is going to take me to the next role. I call them the contributor. This is the junior role. Now you understand the basics. You are no longer an intern. In fact, you are now being assigned even small tasks. This is the stage that you start gaining trust with your skills, your personality, right? It doesn't matter if you're in accounting, you're in project management or product management, you are in sales, you are in design team, or in this role, they are not going to give you high priority tasks. No, they need you to help them clear the things that will. You know those tiny tasks that if you don't do it, they will eventually get piled up and you still need to fix. These are the tasks that sometimes may be assigned to people in this role, right? They need you. Those at the top needs people in this role. They need you to help them take these tiny things off their desk so that they can focus on more things, more important things, right? High priority tasks. Like these people are in a position where they are thinking about systems that will make, the company better, that will make their process better. This is where they are right now. So having them to work on tiny tasks like this can actually be a waste of time. And this is where sometimes some of them get burnt out. When we get to that part, I'm going to explain better. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that in this stage, when they assign these tasks to you, don't see it as they're trying to overwhelm you with work. I understand that sometimes it may be overwhelming, but this is the time for you to actually build your own confidence also. This is the time for you to build your reputation. This is the time for you to build resilience, right? This is the time for you to understand. This is the time for you to learn how templates, like how to build templates. This is not time for you to start using templates. This is the beginning of your career, right? This is the major. Let's say this is after the things that you've learned in internship. This part here is where you start doing those things, right? So diligence is important. You also need to deliver consistently. You need to ask for clarity where it is necessary. You need to own your task. Ownership starts from the junior role. You don't have to wait until you get to the lead position before you start. Saying, okay, if they assign I'm sorry, I'm using design. Permit me to just use design because I'm a designer. If they assign just one screen to you, design that screen like that is the most important screen. And when I say you should design it like this, the most important screen, I'm not saying you should pack unnecessary things there. No. Ensure that you're doing the right thing. You're doing it right. That's just what I'm trying to say there. Do you understand? This is where you build this is where you build your skills. This is where you start making your hands strong, right? Either you're in sales, this is time for you to learn the things that are actually needed to be a good salesperson, right? And this is going to bring me to the next slide. I call them the thinker. This is the mid-level role. Now they are not just, in the junior role, I said they just get assigned the task. Here, you're no longer just doing the work. Now you are seeing the way these things work, right? You are seeing the patterns behind the work. Now you can connect your tasks to outcomes. Now, your superpower here is meant to be strategic thinking, because you are beginning to understand business context, right? And then you don't want to just do things blindly. You want to ask questions. Okay, why are we doing this here, right? When, as an intern, the questions you're asking are, how are you doing this, right? In the junior role, okay, you asked me to do this. Okay, when do you need this delivered? Okay, you want me to do this? Okay, how do I get these things done? But here, you're more like challenging the person that is actually assigning this task to you, right? And it's not in a bad way, right? You need to be humble when actually, stating your points. When you're trying to make your points known, you understand business context here. You're also trying to improve systems and workflow. You're trying to balance speed with strategic insight. What I'm trying to say here is, this is the time for you to learn how to balance speed, even as you ask important questions, right? In the company, you become someone that actually increases the team output, and not just the team output, but the quality of work that you're actually producing. And personally, you're also evolving from being the executor, right, to someone who is thinking strategically, right? If for some of us that were here the last time, I think that was last week when Precious was taking us on design thinking. This is a rule we apply in design, but the same rule can actually be applicable to your own personal life. So whatever it is that you are learning here, don't just limit it to your job. Don't limit it to that role. Make sure that you apply it to your own personal life, right? There are so many things, there are so many rules, especially in UX, when it comes to UX design. There's so many rules that you'll be surprised that when you understand the way these rules work and you apply it to your personal life, you'll be amazed at the way it's going to work for you. And then you start thinking, I thought this thing was just meant for product. No, it's not just meant for the product, right? It's just how you are able to interpret the law, how you're able to understand it, and how you're able to use it. Do you understand? So the same thing that is applicable to every role. The things that you're actually learning from this role, these are things that they are not meant to be limited to that organization. They're not meant to be limited to that product. It is also meant to be applied to your own personal life. So here you are also helping the company. You are helping them to achieve more things, right? And while you're helping them to achieve more things, you're also evolving personally, right? It's giving you the ability to think. And this is going to bring me to the next role, which is the leader. I call them the leader. This is now the senior role. Here, there is a shift from being the one who knows to the one who helps others know, right? This is where you're becoming more like a mentor to junior designers. You're bringing clarity to where there is noise. You know how to delegate, you know how to organize, you're building leadership presence, right? Now, for this particular role, there are so many things that I notice about people in this role. Sometimes they feel like, let me see, there are two things that I noticed about them. The first one is that sometimes many of them, because of the way they were trained, they would want to, let me put it this way. So for example, let's assume someone who was trained by maybe a strict mentor or a strict boss, right? And then the person is not giving them chance to do things. The person was too harsh on them. There are people that will say, when I also become a leader, I'm going to do this thing back to people that are actually coming under me. And there are people that will say, I don't want my own junior colleagues, I don't want them to go through the pain that I went through. But one thing that we are missing there is this. You're shielding them from the message. Do not focus on the pain. Focus on the message. Now, the person that was being strict or that was being too harsh on you brought out the best in you, right? And I think it's even applicable to, especially African homes. So sometimes, especially for those of us that actually, some people, don't let me generalize it, but some people that actually came from a humble background, right? We all have this mindset, right? That, oh, when I grow up, I don't want my kids to go through the same thing that I went through. And then eventually, when you start having kids, the same thing that actually made you a better version of yourself are the things that you are shielding your kids from. And then before you know it, you start having weak kids, like people who are not strong enough to do things that will actually make their life better. The same thing happens in this role, right? We have some leaders that will say, "Oh, I don't want to involve my junior colleagues late hours. I'll just pick it up and do it myself." You're not helping them. As a matter of fact, you're hurting them. If I'm just to put it that way, right? You're hurting them. Bring them on board. Let them understand that this is real life. I'm not saying you should overwhelm them with work. I'm saying you should make them understand that this is reality, right? Anything can happen. Life happens, right? So if you need to get this thing done, remove emotions from it. I'm not saying you should not be considerate. Be considerate when it is necessary. But these people also need to understand that you need to go through certain. I'm not trying to justify fired. No, not that. But sometimes if you don't go through certain things, you will not really understand. You will not really understand what it takes to actually achieve, success the right way. Many a times what people see is the success, but they are missing the process, right? This is your duty as the leader to show them the process, right? Make them understand how things done. Here you are driving the culture, right? You are improving standards, quality, long-term strategic direction, right? But don't let this thing be limited to just the product. Please apply these things also to the young ones, like those ones in the younger roles, right? And personally, you're building your own legacy, right? This is what you want to be remembered for. So this is going to take me to. I'm trying to rush now. This is going to take me to the last role, which is the builder, and this is like I'll say this is like the lead role, right? Here, you're no longer actively involved, right, in the regular day-to-day activities. Say, okay, let's assume you're a designer. It's not like you're not going to design, but now you are thinking more in terms of systems. You're thinking more in terms of like strategy. How do we what are we going to do to make our process better? What are we going to do to make our process faster? We don't want to waste more time on certain tasks. This is what you're doing here, right? In this stage, you need courage, right? You need to empower others. You need to build frameworks for decision making. You're not just trying to guide the work. You're shaping the environment in which work happens. Your design culture, you design culture rather. You build possibility. Your superpower here is actually vision, right? You're trying to. And another thing I want to mention here is that you're building systems. So, as a leader, or let me see, as a builder, someone in this particular role, this is the stage you start to think in terms of systems. Even God was thinking in terms of systems when he started. Permit me, apologies to those who are non-Christians, to the non-Christians here, but permit me to just quickly go that direction. When God came to the world, right, the Bible says he wanted to make heaven and earth, blah blah blah, right? Not to bore us with what we already know. But if you understand something, after creating light, what God did next was to build system. He wanted to create man, and he wanted man to have dominion, and he wanted man to multiply. He created male, created female. For every animal he created male, created female. What would they eat? He created, there was land for them, land to produce what's it called, green things for people to, to consume. He also created what's it called? He created the sea, ocean for, and water bodies to actually, stay. There was an habitat for everyone. He already created these systems. Now, eventually, when he wanted to destroy everything again because they got him angry, he did not start from the very beginning. He did not have to start creating man, like molding man again or molding woman. He had already created that system. He only took what is best from all the things that is available, and then he put them somewhere, destroyed the rest, and then the same thing, the same process that he has, put in place, the same thing continued again, and then they all continued to multiply. That goal was still valid. Man dominated the world. Man multiplied without having to repeat this. This is that stage where you are right now. You are building systems, right? And this is what the lead. This particular role is all about, right? Now, on your life, right? The impact this is going to have on you is that you transition from mastery of craft to mastery of impact, right? You are now a leader of leaders. You're building leaders here, right? If I'm not here, or if I am not available, will this thing still work? Do you understand? This is what you should be thinking about in this role. And this is going to take me to the second part, which is inner shift. Career development is not loyalty to a company. It's loyalty to your evolving potential. I'm going to be fast with that. In a world where companies change, markets shift, roles evolve, adaptability ensures long-term career, you need to learn how to adapt. This is just what this part is talking about. This is what you should know. Exhaustion is not proof of success. Discipline is better than motivation. And what brings about exhaustion most times is when you do things that you don't feel fulfilled with, right? That is when you get exhausted. Sometimes, imagine a senior person, let me say someone in a senior role, having to do repeated tasks when they are high priority tasks that he wants to do, right? This will actually make you feel exhausted. Like you get exhausted this way. But if you're doing things that will actually challenge you, right? Things that you are motivated to do, right? When you do this one, you will not get exhausted this way. Exhaustion mostly comes from emptiness, right? Me doing things that I'm not happy with, and one thing is this: productivity is not the same thing as busyness. Just get that right. You may be very, very busy, but not productive. So you get exhausted when you are doing things that actually keeps you busy, but it is not something that is productive. Now, another thing I want us to understand here is that how you serve where you are tells people everything about how you will lead where you're going. If you are not someone that can be relied on as a junior person, it is not possible for you to be recommended for a better role. That is just, one thing I know about, right? Sometimes this may not be limited to your attitude. It will involve your skills. There are situations where you will see people that they may not have good characters, but you cannot deny the fact that this person is good at what he or she does. This person knows their onions, right? And then you feel like, I like this person, and this person is good, but no, I can't deal with that attitude. Attitude can actually break some things for you. Imagine you are now someone who is good at what you're doing, and then you have a good attitude with it. Now, another thing I want us to understand here, for someone in the senior role, this is actually another thing that will challenge you. You're not supposed to ignore that person who is probably not I don't want to use the word favorite, but that person who seems to be too rude, right? You're not supposed to ignore that person. If there are ways, there are people that are teachable, and there are people that they are not willing to learn. They are not willing to even listen to anything. But the moment you understand or you realize that, okay, this person is teachable, it is a very good thing as a leader if you can actually, bring that person, have a conversation with that person. There are certain things that you will be remembered for that will not even be about your skills. Then you also need to have a clear understanding of our goals and vision, we need to create systems to achieve this. I think I've explained this one earlier, right? When I was talking about the lead role. I'm just trying to like reverse some of these things. Now, growth beyond employment. The growth stays with you, not just the company. Let me ask this question. Is there anyone, because it doesn't matter how long you spend in a company, right? You may spend 2 years, you may spend 1 year, you may even spend 6 months, and you may spend, and in fact, you may have, there are people that will spend 6 months in a company, and their impact will be more, it will be more than someone who spends like 20 years in the company, right? Because there is nothing you're actually adding to the company. There is no value. Do you understand? If there is no value, it doesn't really make sense, right? So, but whatever it is that you learn from the company, it stays with you. Is there anyone that maybe you learn design or you learn software engineering at any company, and when you're going, the manager or the CEO tells you when you're going, as you're collecting your letter, or maybe you're dropping your resignation letter, okay, as you're dropping your letter, drop our skills with the HR. That's not possible. Whatever it is that whatever it is that you gain from the company, the experience you gain, the skills you gain, the relationship that you gain, everything stays with you. The transformation stays with you. For every time you are willing to learn, for every time that you prove yourself to be teachable, and then they teach you, right? And then you learn new things, the knowledge that you gain stays with you. The organization is going to benefit from your growth, no doubt. But the benefit is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. I've seen situations where people with special skill sets, when they leave a company and then maybe the company needs a particular skill, they reach out to them. Why? It is based on relationship. Even if you want to leave, you don't have to bang the door. You can just close the door. Hey, we'll see later. It's goodbye for now. We'll always meet at the top, right? The wisdom that you get stays with you. The relationship that you're going to have. There are so many people that they are best friends, they are BFF, whatever it's called, right? They actually, they met at a company, right? But when you're going, the company will not tell you, no, because you're leaving us now. This friend you met, this person here, it's not possible. After that will stay with you. The transformation will stay with you forever, right? The relationship stays with you forever. The skills stay with you. Your growth is not owned by the employer, it is yours. So if your company, right, is talking about you improving yourself, being a better version of yourself, yes, they will benefit from it. But the most important thing is, it is for your own good, right? And we need to understand this. I think with that said, we are going to move to the Q&A session now.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Lanre. That was a very beautiful session, and personally, I gained one or two things from that session. So guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and I'll call on you to ask your question. But before that, okay, Lanre, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so on my end, I'd like to just ask, I don't know if I should say ask a question, but just ask. I know that when it comes to like the true impact of your role, it's not just restricted to let's say the juniors or maybe the employees, or maybe those that just hold like a junior role in the team or in the department. So I know that we have like leaders too, that their role can impact either the junior ones or people in their surrounding. So I know that let me just paint a scenario. There's probably two team members. There's a team leader, and there are two members, all working together, having to submit everything they do to the team lead. And it was very obvious, not too obvious, but you just probably know that this person favors one person over the other, right? This person favors whatever comes from this person over the other. If one person makes a mistake, it is easy for him to overlook because, this person is my favorite. But when the other makes a mistake, it's, it's really, really messy, and it gets to like talk and talk and talk. So I know that can really impact the other person, that is maybe the least favorite person to the team lead. And if you were in this situation whatsoever, let's just assume you are the one who is the least favorite to the person. How do you handle situations like this? What do you think? At a point you might probably think, oh, am I not good enough? Do I need to have an impact in whatever we are doing here and stuff like that? So what would you do in situations like that?
Okay, let me just try to rephrase your question for sure. I can be sure I understand your question. So you're saying that in a situation where we have two employees, right, working directly with the lead, right, and then it seems or it appears like the lead is trying to favor one person more than the other, and then each time they are being given a task, if the like one is more appreciated than the other. So if one person makes mistake, if it is the favorite one, the person gets let me say rebuked in a light way. But if it's the other person who is the least favorite, the person gets rebuked in a bad way, right? So if I was the person, how do I attend? How am I going to attend to that, right? Okay. The first thing I want you to understand is this, right? It is normal. We are all humans, right? It is normal for us to think that one person is more appreciated than we are in a situation like this. It is a normal thing. We are all humans. But if it is possible for you, right, to think in this direction, to be more analytical about it. And the reason I'm saying that is this: the more you pay attention to the pain that you are getting from maybe your team lead, right, the more it will be difficult for you to actually pay more attention to what you really need to focus on, which is improving yourself where needed, right? Now, the reason I'm saying this is this: for the person that you seem that seems to be the favorite, can you try to, let me see, this is what I will do. This is based on your question. This is what I would do. I will check the person's work. I'll check my work. I'll try to compare the two. Is this person's presentation better than mine? Let's look at it from that angle first. Let's start with that first. If I should notice that, okay, this person is actually killing it, and mine is not that, it's not up to that standard, I think what I would rather do is be friends with that guy. Say, hey, chief, I don't understand this, but how do you do this, right? I want to learn from you. And don't pay attention to the lead or to the person that is making you feel inferior, right? Because the moment you start paying attention to that person, you will start getting depressed. And once depression sets in, you will not be able to improve yourself where it is needed. So let that person when it will get to a point, you may even need to ignore that person. Like, whatever that person is saying, just let the person keep talking, right? What you want to do is check, am I really doing these things right? If it is now certain that what you're doing is right, but the person just have like a personal problem, right? If there is a way you can sync with the person, like have a personal conversation with this person, that, and chief, do we have an issue, right? If it is something, if it is possible, like I just want to know, I feel like I am not doing my best enough, right? There are times whereby you can even walk up to the person to say, please, I noticed that you complain about certain things. Is there a way? Are there things that you're expecting from me? Do you understand? But what I would do in that situation is first to check what this person is saying. Is it right or wrong? Right? If the person is right, then that means I need to work on myself. So I'll work on myself first. But if that person is actually just problematic on their own, maybe they just like the other person, you don't have to pay attention to that person. You have to pay attention to you. Otherwise, you're only giving that person, power, unnecessary power over you. I think that's the way I'm going to answer that question. Does that answer your question? No.
Yes, That answers it very well. Thank you so much. So someone is asking in the chat box that hi Lanre, you mentioned how roles connect to the overall goal. How can someone ensure alignment when they work with cross-functional teams and that have competing priorities?
So let me just quickly read through this again. You mentioned how roles connect to the overall goal. How can someone ensure alignment when they work with cross-functional teams that have competing priorities? No matter how competing or competitive their priorities may be, I believe there is always a general goal, and we are all working towards that general goal, right? Now, if design, let me use this as an example. So let's assume that our goal is to build a product, a digital product, or let me say a ride-hailing app, right? And then we want to focus on Lagos alone. And then our major goal is that we want to have 100 users before December. And before January. This is December already. Let's say we want to have 100 users before January. Now, the product manager already has a list of things to do. I mean, as a task list for all for all departments involved, all stakeholders involved, from design to the QA engineers to the sales guy to even the business owners, right? The business owner is saying, I want this thing done between now and January, right? The goal is to have 100 users by January. That is the general goal. Now, design is saying, for us to do this thing well, right? For us to do this thing well, we need to make research. Research will take so dates. But we are saying we don't have that time for research. There is always a chance to compromise on certain things, because what is more important is the main goal. So how we are going to achieve that main goal is going to be everybody's priority. It's not the design may be saying, oh, this thing is going to affect our work, but there is always room to compromise on certain things. To be honest, there is always room. Even I'm sorry, I'm using design, right? As a designer, there are certain rules that we've been taught that when you want to work on a product, these are certain things that you need to do. But we've come to realize that this is real world. Real situations will happen, right? Things that the only constant thing, right? The only constant thing in life is change itself, right? We may decide that this is the approach that we want to take, but unfortunately, that something else may happen. We still want to achieve this goal, but we need to bend our rules at some point, right? So the most important thing is that the main goal is what we want to achieve, but when it is necessary, where it is necessary, we need to compromise. Not compromise on quality, but compromise on personal personal requests, right, or personal priorities to achieve the main goal, right? And if it is the main goal also that we are looking at it that maybe it's the timeline, or this thing is not actually realistic between this time frame or between this timeline, then we can all decide to say, and that's why I think to a great extent I love agile method of doing things. By the time we start shipping things like in bits, if there is going to be any form of challenge, if there's going to be any competing priority between different departments, it should be obvious from the very beginning. We won't have gone too far before we realize, this thing is like this. So that's, I hope I was able to answer your question, Cynthia. All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. So we have just 7 minutes left. I think there's another question, which is going to be the last question we're going to take. So if you can just answer that very quickly. Precious says, how do you know when it's time for a level up as a designer from junior to mid-level?
Okay. This is actually it's actually an interesting question, right? How do you know when it's time for a level up as a designer? So I'm going to look at it from two angles, right? I'll look at it from let me say the company that is trying to maybe update or upgrade their employee, and then I'll look at it from a personal angle, right? Now, from the personal angle, let's assume I'm a junior designer, right? I'm not going to limit my success, or I'm not going to limit my growth to what is happening in my company alone. I'll try to compare. Like, there should be a benchmark, like a general benchmark for everyone. I'm talking about, this is like a personal thing right now. Like, if you're trying to know when it's time for you to level up as a designer personally, right? I'm going to check the benchmark, right? I check the benchmark between designers in my company. I'll check the benchmark between designers in my community. I'll check the benchmark with designers around, like maybe designers online aside from my community, right? I start checking it. Now, the truth is, we are all learners. We are all interns, because we will all continue to learn, right? Regardless of your role, either you are in the junior role, either you are in mid-level role, either you are a senior, we will all continue to learn. So now, as a personal, from the personal angle, now when I check all these things, and I feel, or I believe that, okay, I think I can, like, whatever this person is doing, I can actually match up to what this person is doing in my department, or let's say in my own company. I check with other companies also. I realize, okay, I can actually, match up whatever it is that they are doing. I can also do these things like well, right? At least to that category. Then I feel I should start learning how to do. I should start learning how to do things that is beyond that level, right? I should start learning how to do things beyond that level. I should start I should start talking to people that is actually in that level, because I believe now that, okay, I can do certain things, and I don't want to limit myself to this part. I don't want complacency to set in, right? So that is from the personal angle. Now, from a company's angle, let me say from let's say startup, right? Or let me just use generally, like a company's point of view. As one thing I want to believe is that for every standard company, there are standard rules that, they are like checklists, right? So when this person meets up to this part, meets up with this, right? Then the company can now check, okay, you've passed this one, and this can actually vary from like different companies. It varies with different companies. So what my company may regard, or let me say the checklist my company may present, right, for mid-level, may be different from what another company may actually present. So this is actually, I'll say, this is based on whatever it is that the company has actually set as a standard, based on whatever it is that they are doing in the company. For a product company, it is going to be different from what they are going to do for an agency, right? So I think that's what I can say about that. Precious, did I answer your question?
Hi Precious. Okay, great. He said that answered his question. So thank you very much, guys, for thank you so much, Lanre. This was very insightful, and I believe every one of us here learned one or two things. It was a really beautiful session, and I personally took things away from this session. So thank you everyone that joined tonight. And of course, this is not the end of the session. We have many other sessions lined up, so please do well to follow our social media pages to stay tuned to sessions that we have coming up. Also, if you want to book a mentorship session with Lanre, I dropped a link to his profile on the VIT community. He can mentor you all for free. So yes, you can book a session with him using the link, and you get to talk to him, and he gets to mentor you through whatever you need to get mentored on. So thank you guys for joining this call, and have a great weekend. So just have a good weekend. Thank you so much, Larry. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.